Welcome to the KBB Review podcast. I'm Andy Davies, and this is episode 5 of season 14, which means we're officially halfway through this run of shows. And for those keeping track, this season will conclude with a very special episode from the KBB Review Retail and Design Awards in Blackpool in a few weeks' time, but more on that in a moment. This week, we're delving into a subject that, slowly but surely, is becoming more common: freelance KBB designers. They're not retailers in the classic definition of the word, they don't have showrooms, but they will design kitchens or bathrooms for their clients. And those clients could be consumers, developers, interior designers, architects, or indeed time-poor KBB retailers farming out some work. So, why go freelance? How does it work? Who are the customers and where do they find them? How do relationships with suppliers work? And with so many KBB retailers wishing they could charge for designs, how do they sell the service in the first place? This is a really insightful conversation with 3 top designers already doing it very, very well. Darren Morgan, Alina Tacutanu, and Anna Rock. And if you run a showroom, you really need to hear their views. But first, yes, the KBB Review Retail and Design Awards are in the iconic Blackpool Tower Ballroom on Thursday, April the 24th, and we are officially 100% sold out. However, there is always a chance that with that many people, some cancellations do happen, so we are running a waiting list. As soon as a ticket becomes available, it will be offered to whoever is next in line on that list. It's first come, first serve, so go to kbbreview.com/awards and you'll find out how to get in the queue. I'll put that link in the episode description, and trust me, it's always worth the call. So here, as promised, are our 3 very accomplished designers. Let's start with, in no particular order, hello Darren Morgan.
Hi Andy, it's Darren here, and I'm a designer. I'm based in Northern Ireland, and thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, sir. And we have Alina Tacutanu. Hello, Alina.
Oh, hello, Andy. Hello, everyone. I'm Alina, the founder of Kitchen Reflection design consultancy business in the UK.
Brilliant. And we have Anna Rock. Hello, Anna.
Hello, my name is Anna Rock, and I started my business in the end of 2023, and it's Anna Rock Bespoke Kitchen Designs. Hello, everybody.
Well, I love this because it sounds a little bit Eurovision. This is great.
Yeah.
So, Darren, let's start with the results of the Irish jury. We're going to talk about remote design, as we said, and I think the best place to start is just how each of your individual businesses work, so people can get an idea of how you set them up. So let's start with you, Darren. How do you work? How do you make your money?
Well, I suppose, Andy, as you know, I'm working in the KBB industry some time now, almost 25 years. So in that time, I've worked for other businesses. I've had my own retail business whereby we would have looked after design, installation, all that kind of thing. I've always had a real interest and passion about design and how it worked within the KBB sector. So about 11, 12 years ago, I started my own business. The whole idea behind that was to offer freelance design way back then. And I started the business. It worked quite well. We worked for private clients. We worked for some other businesses as well. But to be honest, at that time, the industry and maybe the public just weren't ready for the idea of purchasing designs independently. So what I found was, over the course of time, I almost adopted the regular retail model. I had a showroom, I had fitters, and that's how things evolved for me. So at the start, when I started my own business, that's how I made my money. It was the regular model, bricks and mortar, showroom, people came, we designed the product, we specified, we project managed, and in that, I suppose there was a great opportunity to learn all of the trades, from quite literally designing to production detailing, to surveying, to working with fitters, with other trades on site. So over the years, I've learned a lot of things about the industry. What I always found was a lot of retailers are very private about their own designs. They like to have ownership of their own designs. So over the years, I'd been asked to get involved in various projects, offer some design input. And at the start, because of my experience in starting the business, and maybe I felt the industry wasn't just ready for it, I had almost become ingrained with that notion that my design is mine and collaboration wasn't a thing I do. So a lot of times I'd refuse the idea of getting involved in collaborative projects. But then I was getting more and more offers, and I really still had this itch that I wanted to scratch that was about, what can design do for the industry? Can design be used as a strategic business tool? So I got involved with some of these collaborative projects. I absolutely loved it. It just opened the door. There was There's new opportunity to work with different people, new projects further afield, diversity of projects. That has just made me shift completely away from the regular retail studio model where people come to buy their kitchen, they look at the product, they touch the feel, they move through the process, as everyone knows within the industry. Now, I provide my services as a design consultant. We don't just do renderings. We do renderings, CGI, digital animation, but that's only part of what we do. We allow businesses and private users to use our industry knowledge, allow people to really get to know the ins and outs, nuts and bolts of the industry. You know, we deal with private customers, architects, interior designers, high-end fit-out companies, property developers, those sorts of people. And now that is the core of my business, and it allows me to do design for a diverse range of people. It allows me to help businesses achieve their goals, private clients to achieve their goals. It allows me to connect private clients with manufacturing and retail businesses and create a natural ecosystem where everyone wins. So my business now and where I earn my money is in design consultancy, from design, visualization, animation to sales negotiation, project detailing, and even driving certain projects forward. So that's what I do for a living right now.
Right, so designer for hire, in summary. What about you, Alina? Is that very similar to you? How have you got to where you are, and how does your business model work?
Yes, some of the elements that Darren just mentioned, they do align with kitchen reflection. Kitchen reflection is actually a concept quite new in the UK. I think is more common in the US and Australia. It's a design consultancy. So basically, I help customers to navigate in the kitchen world, kitchen and bespoke furniture world. But I'm creating the concept design for them. I'm not doing final drawings because I always refer to a showroom. So I'm the point of contact. It's almost like a personal shopper to a point where customers decide that they would like someone alongside to help them with a project without spending 3 or 6 months of their lives understanding and learning the kitchen industry. Because in fairness, to buy a kitchen these days that, let's say, is 50,000, 70,000, 100,000 pounds, you almost need to learn the kitchen industry. You need to learn how the carcass is made. You need to understand the doors. You need to understand the accessories. Some people don't want that. They just want to buy a kitchen and carry on and live their lives. So currently, I think the business model is, I've started the business in 2023, but I spent about 2 years researching exactly the business model. I spent 20 years designing for various luxury kitchen companies across the UK. And from probably beginning of the pandemic to 2023, I asked every single client I had opportunity to meet if they would shop differently. And all of them, they clearly say, the message was very clearly that the amount of information, videos, Instagram, online information is way too much, and it takes so much of their time. So therefore, if there is such a person that can actually travel to their home to bring the information to them, to make real contact, then they will go for it. And here I am. That's how I set up Kitchen Reflection. So I give you an example. I have a client in Cambridge with a new build. They contacted me beginning of 2024. I think it was like early in 2024. And the building is just starting now, March 2025. So basically a year ahead. And I've created a beautiful concept for them. I've done a few options until we got the design right. Then I was the person to seek various quotations from various suppliers, presented to my customer. My customer selected one. And right now we are working with a kitchen supplier from the UK with the client, and everything is absolutely impressively well.
Right, but you said you don't do the end drawing. So how far down the route do you take it?
I don't do the end drawings because I never know precisely who will be my supplier. I'm the first person that knows the budget, the real budget, yes. And then depending on the budget, I shop around, if you like, almost like a broker in kitchens, and I decide who is the best to actually fulfill that client requirement and produce that kitchen. That's how it works.
Right. A different model to yours again, Darren. It's fascinating, isn't it? What about you, Anna? What's your model?
Yeah, I think we are quite different in the exact offerings, I suppose, to clients in between all of us three here. So I started at the end of 2023. I really wanted to, like, I never thought it's going to happen, but eventually I just decided I had two options: either go back working for someone or just create something on my own. And with the experience that I've gained over my 14 years, like, it's not as much maybe as Darren's or Alina's, but I've been in the industry for 14 years. And I just came to a realization that a lot of clients, just like you, Alina, said, would find very difficult to find the specific manufacturer or specific designer even that they would be happy with. And I think there was at the time a shortage of designers advertising themselves. And so clients didn't know exactly where to go to make sure that everything's going to be looked after for them and in the best possible way, an outcome for them. So, you know, clients have specific needs, specific requirements. Their families are different. Their lifestyles are different. And it was very hard. And just like Alina said, I did my research between the clients, between interior designers and other kitchen manufacturers. And I just realized that there is a lot of confusion. And so just like Alina said, for example, clients didn't know exactly where to go to find what exactly they're looking for. Because when the clients are coming into a kitchen studio may be restricted to their specific offerings. So they have specific, let's say, type of doors or specific brands maybe that they're looking for. I think we as independent designers, we are looking after the client in the best possible light and outcome for them. So we're not restricted to all of those brands. And it gave me an idea. It would be actually fantastic to create a possibility for them to have an interior designer who will know exactly what they need and wouldn't be restricted to what's available with specific manufacturer. And I realized that there was a lot of, for example, interior designers who would be excellent in their work of what they do, but they would miss sometimes the technical skill of what we've gained being in the industry for so long. And I think when we work and when we collaborate together, clients can get the full vision of what the final outcome can be. So this is the collaboration with interior designer that I believe it's one of the best probably combinations for the client. I produce design, I produce the specifications based on this design, based on clients' needs, specific requirements, as I said, and their specific needs, lifestyle. But I also produce the technical documentation. And the technical documentation is actually quite excellent for most of those clients who are looking for independent designers, because what that gives the clients, it gives them a possibility, either with my advice and my suggestion, to find the right manufacturer for this specific design. And also, you know, it gives them a possibility of potentially saving a lot of money by traveling, trying to source the manufacturers and who will be able, because, you know, being directed by a designer, I think it's quite great for clients. I produce 3D renderings just like Darren as well, and I tend to do it to a highest possible standard.
What I'm actually hearing a lot here is that you all talk like interior designers, if you like, which exists in a slightly separate bubble to kind of kitchen designers normally. But your business model is effectively an interior designer. This is a very niche specialist, i.e. kitchens. And I suppose that's where the difference comes in the Venn diagram of where you can buy your kitchen from. You kind of fall somewhere in the middle. And that's what makes it such an interesting proposition here. What do you think, Darren? There's you guys and then there's the clients, aren't there? And I know you're going to give me lots of pros and no cons because that's how it works. But what are the pros and cons of this for you? There must be times when you wish you had something in front of people like a showroom to show people that they could pick it up and touch it for themselves. Or do they just not even ask?
Absolutely not. I've been there, done that. A showroom is a time capsule. It's something that constantly needs to be updated. I have the tools to be able to show any client the future in terms of what their project, what their showroom, what their business will be in the future. Digital animation, CGI, and a creative imagination can create a lot of different things. Merging that with a collaborative approach, you know, one of the main pros for me and making the decision, I suppose, in a way to step away from a very viable retail model where I have a showroom and people come in, the regular setup that most people have, to move away from that and stand up and say, look, I'm actually offering design as a standalone service, because I think it's a very important tool. It's like businesses who do design, sell and fit. There's a lot of talk in the industry about, the scarcity of good fitters, So businesses sometimes will use, like, they'll talk about how good their fitters are. They'll talk about how good their manufacturing setup is, the machinery they have, the artisan craftspeople they have working on their factory floor. And that is all then a testament to the quality of the product which they produce. But what about the design? Design, you may be working in an amazing showroom, but geographically positioned not in the best spot to have the best talent. So why not have the ability for businesses to say, right, okay, we're really looking to up our game. We're looking to go into new markets. We're going to develop new product lines. We're really, there's a lot of, we don't really have the staff at the moment, both from a talent perspective. We don't have the tools to visualize where we're going with this. We need somebody to come in and strategize and really plan this out for us. So what I do then is I make myself available for businesses like that who want to, first and foremost, just have the ability to up their game in terms of design and presentation. It allows them to win more business, better business, more high value business. Then you can have other businesses who see the advantages of that, and then they want to move into new markets, do new things, new geographical areas. So I can be involved in the whole business strategy of that. Because I've been so long in the game, I kind of know, and I've run my own business in terms of design, installation, looking after fitters, the logistics of all that. And I know that inside out. So whilst I'm offering creative ideas, visualization, and the ability to up your game in terms of presentation, the wealth of knowledge that I can bring into a business as well, allowing them to make the most of what they have in a pay and go basis. It can be a stop-start type thing as and when they need it. And then from the private client point of view, they're getting the benefit of all that knowledge. A lot of times, if clients can see it, they believe it, they want it, they'll buy it. Simple as that. If you can visualize something, people will imagine themselves using it. And that is the key to sales. And I think our industry has forgotten for many, many years that design isn't a means to an end. It is actually the spark that ignites the flame of sales and product development and growth. So where I sit in the industry and where I get very excited about it is the opportunity to work with like-minded people who want to collaborate, to grow their business, to really push the boundaries, a bit of R&D, develop new ideas, and use the visualization to really see into the future and test the boundaries. So that's a massive pro for me.
I mean, Alina, what was interesting about what you said earlier was you said you were a broker. Is it the idea that you're working independently on behalf of your client while dealing with suppliers, retailers, etc., showrooms, etc.? So you're selling a level of trust, I suppose, aren't you?
100%.
So our clients, what do they need you for? Is it they don't trust their own taste? Is it about them worrying they're going to get ripped off? I mean, what's the kind of motivation for that?
So what I heard so far in all my research was clients are worried that they're not paying the right price. Yes, there is a lot of this is due to price. Yes, the building work is more expensive now. Builders are charging more, so therefore they don't have as much budget maybe left for what they actually wanted. And they don't understand why a specific design can be a £40,000 where they actually drive 20 miles more, where they go to different direction. It can be 60 or it can be £20,000. That's where that's where the worry is. And I help them to almost like educate them. Yes. So they feel more confident. I make the purchase more confident for them. And yes, 100% they trust.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? So you're an independent advisor for dealing with other independents. It's really it's such an interesting setup. Anna, how about you? Are there times when your clients say, "Yeah, but can you show me a worktop, please?" I mean, what do you do when someone says something as basic as that?
Yeah, so I currently collaborate with suppliers. I've built a nice relationships with them at the moment. So I actually do have a lot of samples at home. So since I work from home, I do have a lot of different samples at home, and I'm capable of producing a lovely mood board. When I finish my design, I create a lovely mood board, and these would be the suggestions that I make for my clients of how to proceed with the project. So since I'm not involved in the final product, because clients are capable of going to whatever manufacturer they wish, or they would rely on my suggestion based on the actual design, they will see the specifications. And I collaborate with suppliers to make sure that I'm up to date. I keep learning. Obviously, all of us do, as the industry is evolving constantly. And, we have to stay up to date with technology, with different types of materials being released or upgrades that are available. And that's what I do. So I tend to learn as much as I can, collect the samples for myself. Don't get me wrong, my whole house isn't covered with samples, but I do
Not yet.
But I do have a lot of them, and they are quite helpful. So even for flooring or the type of cabinetry, let's say, I do have a couple of samples. I have lovely catalogs with colors that clients can select for, and I create a great mood board, which is fantastic for them because they know exactly what that design is about. Coming along with those visualizations, like there's no better way of presenting the project. And I've learned many years ago when I was studying interior architecture that the best way to sell your design is to present it in the best possible light. And that's what I tend to do. And I believe that the better the design, the more detailed the design is, and the best explanation, the easier it is to translate it to client and to sell it to client and to explain how great it's going to work for their personality, their style, and what the exact needs are. So that's how I go about presenting.
And I suppose the way that all three of you operate, it's such a personal one-on-one experience, isn't it? It's your own personal designer, and that is the interior designer model of things. Look, at the risk of sounding incredibly naive and blunt about it, how do you actually find people to work with? Showrooms have people wander past and walk through the door. How do you guys generate clients? Where do you find them? Darren, start with you.
A lot of it's word of mouth, Andy. I would have worked with a lot of people already in the industry, retailers and business-to-business relationships. So it kind of naturally grows. We have an Instagram profile that then attracts private clients. I think the biggest thing, and I think all of us here are on the same page, is about educating clients and also other businesses that there are other opportunities for design and maybe opportunities for growth between all different sectors. We've campaigned in the KBB sector for years for professional qualifications for design. Interior designers have that, but like some of the girls said earlier, interior designers don't necessarily have the skill set that we bring to the table. But in terms of the clients that come to me, literally, like I can have a property developer come and he'll say, listen, there's a house there. I would go and survey that house, and I can then produce maybe 13, 20 rooms in terms of CGI, the digital animation. It's not just kitchens and that kind of thing that we do anymore. It's literally virtual renovations for entire properties. So I suppose that's how my expertise has grown over the years. I've got involved in different things, even some commercial work as well. But it's bringing the skill set and the technical knowledge. I suppose I have never worked with a brand or a catalogue per se. It's always been bespoke, handmade. So anything I've designed, even within the retail business that I was operating, was always fully bespoke. So what that required from me was to imagine, create, visualize, and basically create the full production detail so that when I bring that to a manufacturer, it's a full set of drawings, go to such and such a site on a date and deliver that, and that's what I've learned over the last 14 odd years, of how to do that and how to deliver it. So yeah, I think a little bit of social media brings clients from private realm to us, but within the industry, I'm very, very grateful that some people know what I do, and that then gets me some work that way,
What about you, Alina? How are you marketing your wares?
Well, I do some networking, and most of my clients so far, they were referrals. I mean, in 2024, I had 2 referrals from a project I've done back in 2016. One is a big extension. Both projects are in Cambridge and one is a new build. I mean, yes, most of them, they are referrals. So they just want to work with someone they trust and someone that looks after their budget, because that's the whole point. So 20 years I've spent working for various kitchen brands. I'm an ex-Pog and Paul a senior designer, and I've worked for Shalom Kitchens in the past, managing their business for 5 years. And I've been the senior designer for the business as well, covering 4 different showrooms. Those are just 2 names, but I've worked for various companies. Now I work for the client 100%. And I work with the market. I work with absolutely pretty much every kitchen supplier across the UK.
I'm going to come to supply in a minute, but I just want to hear from you, Anna, if I can, just how you're driving your business in terms of numbers of clients. Like yours, is it purely referral or how does it work?
Yeah, so referrals is one thing, but I think for me, a lot of clients came through networking. So I tend to go everywhere I can to stay up to date with the industry. So there are different types of shows, events. I go to trainings if I can, whether they're appliance trainings. There is currently actually a fantastic event created here in Ireland, which is called Design Source Ireland. So there is 2 fantastic ladies that created the show, and it's purely based on the trade networking, and it's directed to interior designers, to architects, and that's where I found a lot of clients. I've had a pleasure of presenting my company on one of those shows, and that brought me a couple of really great returning clients. So I currently work with interior designers and kitchen studios after that event. So that's one of those events where I gain a good few clients afterwards. Now, I've been contacted also by the company called Sulia. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Sulia doors. It's basically kitchen doors that you can make out of those panels, bespoke to any size you want. The company hired me to design all of the designs for the new release of a brochure. So once the brochure was released, obviously it ended up in pretty much every kitchen studio in Ireland, and I've been lucky enough to produce the designs for it. So that gave me a little bit of it's actually great recognition, because after that I've been contacted as well by a couple of kitchen studios looking for my work. And for kitchen studios, so there are different type of clients here. You see, there are private clients and then there are trade clients. And that's how I divide the business as well. So private clients' needs are one thing, and then there are trade clients' needs. That's another thing. So for kitchen studios and interior designers, obviously our goal is, of course, to achieve the best results for their clients. And for me, I'm doing my best to make sure that either interior designer or kitchen studio is satisfied. Also, I think that advertising comes just like, I'm sure for Darren and Alina, here's Instagram, here's LinkedIn. Another way was I had a great feature recently in the Ireland's Homes and Interiors Living magazine. Another one was the Kitchen Trade magazine. So that's everywhere where I possibly can. I would introduce myself, my company and my services.
What's really interesting about what you're all saying here is how varied it all is. There's private clients, there's business clients, there's trade clients, there's brochures. I suppose it's the life of a freelancer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the flexibility.
Yeah.
We are quite flexible with our offerings. So we are not restricted to, I remember working with the kitchen studios. Obviously, our goal is to serve the clients, to make the best design and to sell the kitchen. Right now, it's really so flexible, and we can really produce what our clients are expecting or hoping to with our services. So I don't necessarily have to agree only to the design. If clients are looking for, yes, design the brochure maybe, then yes, I'll be very happy to help. The skills are here, the software is here available, and yeah, I'm happy to do so.
It's interesting actually as well. I mean, this is a whole different conversation, but clearly the role of technology, how much that facilitates the work that you all do. I'm going to be very crude with you now, Darren, and please excuse me for it. But I'm wondering, how do you make your money? Is it a flat fee? Is it a percentage? How does that actually work? Question A. And question B is, obviously, if you're a retailer that displays certain products, the rates that you charge, the money you make off that is related to your displays. How do you deal with suppliers in terms of cost and price and that kind of thing? How do you get the best price possible if you can basically shop around anywhere you like?
With regards to the design part, first of all, I'll address that. Within the industry, I think there's a lot of people scared of the idea of charging for design. We've talked about this a lot over the years, and it's seen as a barrier to entry, but I think a lot of people should think about the idea that you're adding value. You're adding a layer of choice within your business. So, you could have a client come into your business and you could say, listen, we can easily just sketch up a very basic two-dimensional layout of your room and give you a rough estimate of what it's going to cost, and then you can decide as to whether you want to move forward with us or not. Or if you really want to get involved and visualize the space and become involved in the process, we can offer a tier up service, something that's value added. So from my perspective, even when I had my retail business, which is the standard retail model, I always charged for design. It was appointment only. We didn't encourage footfall. We had clients make appointments way before COVID, and I never designed anything unless I got paid up front. I think it's a case of, and it does sound quite hard-nosed-ish, but once you let the genie out of the bottle, like everyone can gather around and look at a blank page and wonder, oh, what are we going to do with that? And then all of a sudden you produce this design, and then everyone said, oh yeah, we could do that. So I think in order for designers to protect themselves, and certainly for me to protect myself over the years, I've had to charge an upfront fee for the design service. And it's no different than how I work now, whether it be with a private customer or it be a business-to-business relationship with a partner. We do establish our initial, especially on a business-to-business footing, our initial arrangement will be an upfront fee for any design work we do. And then obviously as the relationships flourish, that can then be negotiated and things can work a little bit differently. In terms of the delivery of the product, we have relationships with manufacturers all over the UK and Ireland that I have vetted who are able to deliver product of a certain standard. Now, I do kind of try to encourage the idea that in order for manufacturers and retailers to become part of our portfolio, they would be encouraged to engage us on a design footing as well and introduce our services into their business. That then allows us to, independently from them, provide them with clients, because obviously we have private clients coming to us. They could be in York, they could be in London, they could be in Belfast, Dublin, wherever, depending on the geographical location, what they're actually looking for. We can then max them up. Then we'd be getting commissions based on all of the installations as well. So it's a win-win, because if it's a private client, for example, they're getting the best quality design service in terms of visualization. They're getting to see the actual product before it's installed. They can get virtual walkthroughs. They're getting expert knowledge. Plus then they're getting partnered with a manufacturer or a business that has been independently vetted. Plus then I can work on behalf of the client to ensure that everything's delivered properly. But the work that we're involved in is quite diverse. It's yes, there's private clients who want to buy kitchens. Then there's businesses who want to up their game in terms of their presentation and offer a new layer in terms of design. And then there's other businesses that we're working with in terms of their long-term goals, R&D, strategizing how to enter new markets and develop new product lines. And so there's multiple layers within our business, and I suppose there's different relationships with all those people on how we get paid for it. But the idea is that they're getting a premium service that's going to deliver value for the private client, but also, like if you think of it, we have private clients that are coming to us and they're looking kitchens. There's so many manufacturers out there who are looking leads. Like all of us here are the person in the middle. We're the in the chain that can deliver both for the private end user, but also can deliver for manufacturers who need more business. So I think it's an evolving part of the industry that we're all experiencing a lot of growth in what we're doing. I think definitely the onset of the more technological age where people don't necessarily, you can do everything that we do from a design standpoint from the comfort of your home. We can deliver fully designed, fully specified products to manufacturers that just need to be fitted. So it's a win-win situation both for the private user and the manufacturer and the retailer. And obviously, we endeavour to try and give the best service to everybody involved.
So, Alina, I keep coming back to you because you're the one who used the word broker. And a little bit of what Darren's describing there is being a broker, isn't it? It's a flat fee plus a certain level of commission from the suppliers.
Yes.
Is that similar to how you operate?
Yeah, well, quite similar. So I operate as with a standard fee, which 100% is being paid off by the saving that the client does. And when I refer a project or a client to a showroom, I make sure that my client will receive a good discount from the showroom. In other words, I know where prices are. Yes. So therefore, the client will always trust me, and the showroom will never try to increase the price or add anything extra into a quotation, because I am from the industry and I know exactly where prices are, and I will always have a second quotation. So I qualify the clients for the KBB market, if you like, or for the kitchen industry. Imagine there is like an army of people, and the people are showrooms. I'm kind of standing in the front line, qualifying the client, bringing the client to them, bringing a hot lead to them, but they have to work with me.
So sorry, so all of your money comes from the client. You don't get anything back from the retailer you've referred them to?
Yes, from the client,
right,
yes.
I see. Okay, gotcha. How about you, Anna? How does it work for you?
Yeah, I think it's the same as Alina's, because I actually don't get anything from suppliers. I don't have specific dealings with suppliers. So client is getting the best possible advice and suggestions based on their needs. So once I finish the design, yes, I would direct the clients knowing. And funny enough, it's so easy now to get the budget of the client. When I worked in the kitchen studio, they were always so afraid of telling you what the budget is. Now, when they come to independent designers, it's just so much easier to get that information from them, which is very important. This is one of the most important informations at the start of the conversation, because of course, based on that, the design is created, and only then I can be sure the client is getting the best what they can afford. So yes, I don't have any dealings with the suppliers if it comes to my suggestions. However, I would give an advice just like Alina. It's like giving them the best direction in the industry, because many clients don't know where to go, where to start, how to go about the design. And of course, every one of them wants the best outcome for them and their family. So they want the best design and the best financial decision afterwards as well, because yes, we all know it's very expensive to get a kitchen or, design or any other renovation that they're doing at home. So yes, I work as a just advisor as well, for clients.
So obviously you come from a showroom background as well. Going back to what Darren said, I guess now with the experience you have, you must think that retailers who don't charge a design fee must be a little bit mad.
Yeah, coming from that background, I remember we had that conversation, I think a while back, Andrew, about, charging for the design or not charging for the design. So I do believe, yes, that all work should be paid for. We all work very hard for this. And sometimes clients would think, oh, here is the free design, which in reality, it's not really free. Kitchen manufacturers have to pay their staff. They have to pay their hours of work. And in many cases, clients are coming just to get an idea and then they go elsewhere. So the time is wasted for specific designers. So I do believe that, yes, every design should be paid for. It's an awful lot of work going into it. And it's the same like going to an architect for, advice for plans, and it all costs. No one these days can do their work for free. So it's just a wrong thinking that here is the company and they will give me the design for free. It's never free.
Exactly. Look, we could talk about this all day, couldn't we? And the three of you are clearly so passionate about what you do. And it's very hard to come up with a job title for you, really, because you're designers, but you're also consultants, you're also brokers, you're also psychologists, and you're handholders, and you're marriage counsellors, and all those things as well, I'm sure. So, look, thank you so much for giving us a very brief look into your world. As I say, I think more than anything else, technology is enabling guys like you to offer such a fantastic service to people. And I think you're right, it's only going to grow. Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you, Alina. Thank you, Darren, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Andy.
Thank you very much, Andrew.